This is Tokyo, but not the Tokyo you know. No skyscrapers, no neon lights, no bullet trains. It is 1860 AD, and this city, still called Edo, is one of the largest cities on Earth. Over 1 million people live here. Narrow wooden streets stretch for miles in every direction. The smell of cedar and charcoal fills the morning air. Samurai walk the same roads as merchants and fishermen. This world existed right here, on this very ground. And then, slowly, it faded away. This is the AI reconstruction of Tokyo in 1860, before everything changed forever. To understand what Edo really looked like, we have to go deeper than history books. We have to walk its streets. This AI reconstruction is built from real historical records. Samurai-era maps. Woodblock prints by artists like Hiroshige and Hokusai. Merchant diaries. Government surveys. Every detail you see is rooted in documented evidence. And what it reveals is extraordinary. Edo in 1860 was not a quiet, frozen city. It was alive. It was loud. It was moving. The main road, the Takedo, stretched all the way from Edo to Kyoto. It carried thousands of travelers every single day. Merchants carrying silk. Government officials on horseback. Farmers bringing rice into the city markets. Now look closer at the streets themselves. They were narrow. Deliberately narrow. Wide roads were considered a fire hazard in a city built almost entirely from wood. Every street was calculated. Every structure had a purpose. The shitamachi, the low city, was where the common people lived and worked. It sat along the eastern edge of Edo, hugging the rivers and canals. Boatmen moved goods through waterways that worked like highways. The water was everywhere. Street vendors called out their prices before sunrise. Tofu sellers. Knife sharpeners. Traveling doctors. This was the sound of Edo in the early morning. The AI reconstruction captures these layers. The smoke rising from cooking fires. The wooden shop fronts painted in deep indigo. The stone lanterns lining the bridges over dark canals. This was not a primitive place. This was a sophisticated, organized, and deeply human city, functioning perfectly on its own terms. A city that most of the world never saw coming. Now look up. Because the skyline of Edo in 1860 tells its own story. There are no glass towers here. No concrete walls. What you see instead is something far more deliberate. Far more beautiful. Edo Castle dominates the center of the city. Its massive stone foundations rise from the earth like a fortress that refuses to move. The outer walls stretch for miles. Deep moats filled with dark water surround every layer. Inside those walls, the Tokugawa shogunate, the military rulers of Japan, controlled an entire nation. This was the most powerful address in all of Japan. But step outside the castle walls and the city transforms completely. The streets of Edo were lined with machiya, traditional wooden townhouses. These buildings were narrow at the front but stretched deep into the block behind them. The ground floor was always a shop. The upper floor was always a home. Business and family life existed in the same building, under the same roof. Every surface was crafted with care. Sliding paper screens. Dark timber frames. Sloped tiled rooftops that curved gently at the edges. Now walk further toward the city's edge. The temples and shrines appear between the streets like quiet anchors in a busy world. Senso-ji Temple in the Asakusa district already stood here in 1860, welcoming thousands of visitors every month. Its massive red gate, the Kaminaraman, cast long shadows across the stone path leading to the main hall. These were not just religious spaces. They were the social heart of the neighborhood. Markets formed at their gates. Festivals filled their courtyards. Children played in their shadows. The AI reconstruction places you inside all of it. The wood. The stone. The smoke. The silence between the noise. Edo's architecture was not built to impress the outside world. It was built to last, and to belong entirely to its own people. But a city is never just its buildings. A city is its people. And in Edo in 1860, the people were everywhere. Edo operated under a strict social system called the Tokugawa class structure. At the top were the samurai, the warrior class. Below them were farmers, then artisans, then merchants. Every person knew exactly where they stood in this world. But on the streets of Shitamachi, those boundaries blurred every single day. Watch the Reconstruction carefully. A samurai walks through the morning market in full dress. His 2 swords hang at his side. His posture is straight and deliberate. People step aside, not out of fear, but out of deep cultural respect. Beside him, a merchant arranges bolts of fabric outside his shop. A young apprentice sweeps the stone path in front of the entrance. An elderly woman carries a wooden bucket toward the nearest canal. This is an ordinary morning in Edo. The public bathhouses, called sento, were one of the most important places in the city. People visited them every single day. Not just to wash, but to talk. To share news. To argue about politics. The sento was where Edo's real conversations happened. Food was everywhere on these streets. Soba noodle stalls appeared on almost every corner. Grilled skewers of fish and vegetables filled the air with smoke. Street food in Edo was not a luxury. It was simply how people ate. Women moved through the markets in layered kimono, their wooden sandals clicking against the stone. Children chased each other between the narrow alleyways. The AI reconstruction does not just show you buildings and roads. It shows you faces. Routines. Moments. It shows you that the people of Edo were not so different from us. They woke up. They worked. They laughed. They worried. They lived full lives, on streets that the modern world has almost completely forgotten. Hashtag high voltage consequences, the turning point, when Western ships changed everything. But this world was about to be shaken to its core. Because in 1853, just 7 years before this reconstruction, something arrived in the waters outside Edo that no one was prepared for. 4 large black ships appeared on the horizon. They were American warships. Steam-powered. Iron-hulled. Carrying heavy cannons that could destroy a wooden city in hours. They were commanded by Commodore Matthew Perry of the United States Navy. Perry had one message for Japan. Open your ports to foreign trade, or face the consequences. Edo had been closed to the outside world for over 200 years. The Tokugawa shogunate had deliberately sealed Japan from foreign influence. No foreign trade. No foreign religion. No foreign ideas. This policy was called Sakoku, the closed country. It had kept Edo perfectly preserved. Perfectly isolated. And now it was over. The sight of those black ships sent panic through the city. Residents of Edo could see the smoke rising from the warship steam engines from the shoreline. Rumors spread through the shitamachi like fire. People did not know what was coming next. The shogunate signed the Convention of Kanagawa in 1854. Japan's ports were opened. Foreign diplomats arrived. Western goods entered the markets for the first time. By 1860, Edo was already changing. Foreign faces appeared in the streets. New ideas moved quietly through the city. The samurai class began to lose its grip on power. Young Japanese men started asking dangerous questions about the old system. The city in this reconstruction, these wooden streets, these stone castle walls, these morning markets, was living on borrowed time. Everything that made Edo was about to be dismantled. Not by destruction, but by transformation. The change did not happen overnight. But once it started, nothing could stop it. In 1868, everything shifted. The Tokugawa shogunate, the military government that had ruled Japan for over 260 years, collapsed. A new era began. It was called the Meiji Restoration. Power returned to the emperor. And the emperor had one singular vision: modernize Japan, or be consumed by the Western world. The city of Edo was renamed. From this point forward, it would be called Tokyo, meaning Eastern Capital. And the transformation was immediate and total. The new Meiji government looked at Edo's wooden streets and saw something that needed to be replaced. Western architects arrived. Brick buildings rose where timber townhouses once stood. Gas lamps replaced stone lanterns along the main roads. Telegraph wires cut across the sky above streets that had once carried samurai on horseback. The samurai class was officially abolished in 1873. Men who had carried swords for generations were told to put them down forever. Their entire identity, their purpose, their status, their world, was erased by government decree. The Machiya townhouses began disappearing block by block. The old market districts were redesigned. Western-style government buildings appeared near the castle grounds. Then came the earthquakes. The fires. The wars of the 20th century. The Great Kanto earthquake of 1923 destroyed vast sections of what remained of Old Edo. World War II bombing raids finished what the earthquake had started. Layer by layer, the city that existed in 1860 was buried beneath concrete, steel, and glass. The narrow canals were filled in. The wooden bridges were replaced. The temple districts were surrounded by modern construction. By the time Tokyo became the city we recognize today, almost nothing visible remained of Edo. The streets were gone. The sounds were gone. The faces were gone. Only the ground beneath your feet remained the same. And yet, not everything was lost. This is where the AI reconstruction delivers its most powerful message. Because beneath the glass towers and the neon lights of modern Tokyo, fragments of Edo still exist. Hidden in plain sight. Waiting to be recognized. Senso-ji Temple still stands in Asakusa. The same temple that welcomed thousands of visitors in 1860 still opens its gates every single morning. The Kaminaraman Gate still casts its shadow across the stone path leading to the main hall. Millions of people walk through it every year, most of them never knowing they are walking the same path as Edo's merchants and fishermen. The street grid of old Shitamachi still follows its original pattern in several neighborhoods. The narrow alleyways of Yanaka district survived the earthquakes, the bombs, and the modernization. Walking through Yanaka today feels like stepping through a crack in time. The imperial palace sits precisely where Edo Castle once stood. The massive stone foundations that you see in this reconstruction are still there, buried beneath the palace grounds. The deep moats still surround the complex. The water is still dark and still. Even Tokyo's relationship with food echoes Edo's past. The street food culture. The small neighborhood restaurants. The early morning fish markets. These are not modern inventions. They are direct descendants of the soba stalls and riverside markets of 1860. The AI reconstruction does not just show you a lost city. It shows you the invisible layer that exists beneath the city you can visit today. Edo did not simply disappear. It transformed. It was buried. It was built over. But it left its fingerprints everywhere. And now, for the first time, you can see both cities at once. The Tokyo of 1860. And the Tokyo of today. Standing on the same ground. Breathing the same air. Separated by nothing but time.